Hello and welcome back to Triplicate, home of interesting electronics. And I want to start getting into doing some development projects. For instance, we have here a cheap remote controlled truck which has a very basic remote control system. I think we could probably improve it quite a lot and have a bit of fun in the process. I also have several other interesting ideas for projects up my sleeves, so to speak. Right, to do this we need some kind of a development platform. I've decided it's probably best to go with an existing platform rather than try and start out and develop a board and put a micro on it, etc. So in this video I propose to have a look at the platforms available and pick one to use. So without further ado, let's have a look. Hi, I'd just like to interrupt myself there if I may. You might be wondering why the minute I mention electronic projects I'm reaching for microcontroller boards. Well, I suppose there are two reasons really, and they deserve an explanation. First up, you can just do so much more easily with a microcontroller board. You just change the software and it can completely change the behaviour without having to redesign half the electronics. And secondly, I am basically a microcontroller programmer. It's what I do, so it's always going to be my first instinct to reach for a microcontroller to do anything that I possibly can with it. Okay, so I did a bit of research and came to the conclusion that embedded microcontroller boards come into three categories. Top of the range we have the Raspberry Pi and the BeagleBone, and these are basically single board computers. They've got video out. They've got operating systems like Linux or Android, and they've got things like coprocessors, graphics coprocessors. And while they're absolutely brilliant at what they do, I was sort of more thinking getting back and doing a bit of roots embedded microcontroller work. So they're just, way over the top for what I want. As you see on the screen, that's a Raspberry Pi. Okay, the second category is the powerful 32-bit micro embedded platform board. Here we have, for instance, the STM32 F3 Discovery and the AFM32 pictured on the screen here, which has a display, and the ST32, the Discovery, has accelerometers and things on the board. And yes, well, these are absolutely amazing, and they claim they can do things like audio, which is always of interest to me. Again, I was aiming at getting into the sort of back to roots embedded stuff, and they're just completely over the top for what I was thinking of doing. That's not to say we're not going to go over to one of these in the future to do a project where more processing is required. So what I actually chose in the end was the Arduino. The only thing I can't find out about it is how you're actually supposed to pronounce it. So if my pronunciation is wrong and you do know, please leave a comment. Gone here for the basic Arduino, the Rev3, the Uno, which is a little 8-bit micro, which has a few input-output pins, capable of PWM, some analog inputs. It's 16 MHz, so it motors along at a decent speed. And it's an open source platform. So there's a big community, and it's widely used, widely regarded for the kind of sort of interesting project we're aiming to do. So that's the one I've gone with. I did consider PIC micros because I've used those an awful lot, but for the reasons I've just stated, decided to go with the Arduino. So, I've already decided this and already bought one. So without further ado, shall we go into looking into it and trying to get it working? Okay, so I actually went out and bought a genuine Arduino Uno. Because it's open source, you can buy copies very cheaply. So if once you've developed your project and you want to keep it, the finished item working, you just buy a cheap copy and put that in, and the original one is back available for the next project. So as I say, I know nothing about this at this moment. I've opened the box and looked in it, but this is what arrived. A box the size of a pack of playing cards, which we shall open. And opened it upside down. So we get the Arduino Uno itself. We get a thank you for supporting Arduino, and we get some little stickers. Have to find something to stick those on. Okay, so now we need to get it going. So I guess the first port of call will be the Arduino website and see how we're actually supposed to get it up and running. Okay, back on the Arduino website. We have a getting started button, so we press that. Okay. This document explains how to connect your Uno board to the computer and upload your first sketch. The Arduino is programmed using the Arduino software IDE, our integrated development environment common to all our boards, running both online and offline. To get started with the software, visit the Getting Started page. Okay, we shall do that. Okay. And what's that? Is that the same? Getting started. Before you start controlling the world around you, you'll need to set up the software and to program your board. The software allows you to write programs to upload them to your board. In the Arduino software. In the Arduino software page, you'll find two options. Okay, so I've never used an online IDE before, so I plan to try that. Always nice to try something new. So I shall turn the camera off and have a play with that and bring you back when I've figured it out. Okay, so we're going through the getting started with the Arduino web editor. And we get a video and some stuff, and down here into the meat of the job. Okay, so the first thing you do is sign up to an Arduino account, which is fairly simple. It's just username, passwords and emails. And once you have an account, you need to log into the web editor. Okay, there's a new project. I don't want a new project. Or my dashboard, I want to go into the web editor. So hang on, we have a menu here. Arduino web editor. Excellent. It's now loading and we're in, and we've got a blank project. So we are going to try and just get something running, the most basic project. So we've got some examples here. We'll see what they offer us. Okay. So I do notice this is one disadvantage of using a web editor. It can be a little slow. We'll try basics. Blink. That looks like a very basic program. Turns LED on for 1 second, then off for 1 second repeatedly. That looks like about as simple as we can get, so we'll try running this one. Okay, so we notice up at the top here, it says no plug-in connection. Okay, see what it can do with that. Do you see the plug-in icon on your system tray? I've not done anything to install a plugin, so not surprisingly I don't. No. Launch the plugin as you would do for any program on your OS, searching for Arduino Create Agent. Okay. Install the plugin again. What does this? Right, download the Arduino plugin for Windows. That sounds like us. So, we have. Oh, we had. Yes, we do. We have the plugin. Yes. Next. Loading. Arduino Create. It's gone round the block again. Ho hum. Basics. Blink. So, next problem, how do we actually send it to the Okay, so a more careful look through this list of possible boards. I did find the Arduino or Genuino, no idea, Uno, and selected that one, and it found it on COM5. And now if we upload, if we look at the bottom here, it's done. Thank you. Busy, says at the top, and it's done. And if we look at the Uno itself, we still see the LED blinking because this project is the same as the code that was supplied with the Arduino. So do we know it's worked? No. Okay. So what we now do is we will alter this code so then we know whether it's okay. It's just asked me to save as because no, I was running the example, I guess. Okay, so we've now changed this code so it's on for 300 milliseconds and off for 500 milliseconds. Should we try again? Verify and save. Let's see what that does. Okay. Let's see if that does anything. It's done it, and yeah, it's definitely flashing faster. So just to be totally sure, we'll set the on to 100 milliseconds and the off to 200 milliseconds. Compile and save and download. Yep, that works. So there we have it. We can now generate, modify code, compile it, upload it and run it on the Arduino Uno. So now let's do something more interesting than making an LED blink. Well, that's about it for this video. Any comments on the video, please leave them and please subscribe to the channel. Bye.